Rosebud's going to be at the Biltmore Cabaret in Vancouver at Just for Laughs this Saturday, June 2nd through the 4th at the Improv in Tempe, Arizona, June 23rd through the 26th at the House of Comedy in Minneapolis. You can get all that info at rosebudbaker.com.
Yeah.
I didn't know you were writing for SNL. Travis just told me you were writing for them.
Yeah.
How is that? Because you always hear that it's very stressful and it's very competitive.
It's stressful, like the hours are stressful. It's like I don't find it to be that stressful of a job outside of just like the hours.
Right.
You know? But it's been cool. I'm learning a lot. I have no business being there. I don't know what I'm doing. I have no idea how to write a sketch.
What are the hours?
9 to 5.
All the time.
Yeah.
Just all the time. Like
10 a.m. you start, maybe?
Well, no, you get to start later, but like...
Do you ever have to stay up late?
You go in... Tuesdays, Wednesdays are the worst, because Tuesdays you go in around like 1 p.m., you figure out what you're going to write, and then you start writing at like 6, 7, and you write until like 5 a.m.
Oh,
and then,
wow.
Yeah, and then you have to wake up at like 9 and do rewrites, like check everything and send it all in.
There's people there that late, though? You're not alone at 4 o'clock in the morning or 3 o'clock in the morning?
No, it's all the writers. It's like just all the writers are there. But we're all like holed up, you know. Some of us are writing together. Some of us are writing on our own. It's like the weirdest situation, because the next day you're just completely out of your mind, tired. By the third week, I'm always like, my teeth are gonna fall out. You know, my voice is always gone because I'm constantly just chugging caffeine.
Yeah.
You know,
so the imposter syndrome never went away?
It's not imposter syndrome. I have no business being there.
I see.
Yeah.
I
Like,
see.
truly,
so this isn't like your brain playing tricks on you. This is understanding reality.
I have total no problem accepting the check. I just don't know what I'm doing.
This is looking up the word imposter and going, yep, fits perfectly.
Yeah. This is 100% accurate. I mean, I like it because I feel like with stand-up, I had put out a special and I was getting a little bored with myself and didn't know what I was going to talk about next. So this is kind of like a perfect thing where I get to figure out something else. You know, like I get to kind of focus on this and figure out what I'm doing wrong. And finally, by the end of, I got in early March, and by May, it was the first time I'd watched one of my sketches go up and be like, oh, I know what I did wrong. Like, whereas normally I look at it and I go, I don't know why this isn't working, but I know it's not working.
You watched it go up. Does that mean on the show or just a rehearsal? Or?
Even just the table read. I can go, oh, I know what happened there. I got.
That's good. I mean, that shows growth, right? When you know how to fix something you did wrong, that's a big deal.
I don't even know if I know how to fix it yet.
Okay, you can just identify.
But I know exactly what went wrong. Like
what did you do wrong?
So like I had written this sketch with Alex English called Gay or Nice. It was like a game show sketch to figure out if a guy was like gay or nice.
Right.
And the jokes there are, you could make a lot of jokes about whether or not a guy is like gay or nice. Like if you called sandwiches Sammy's, right? You're like, you know. So it was like that should have been the joke, like over and over again. But we got distracted where like this end beat where I was like, maybe she like decides she wants to go home with the gay guy, you know, regardless. That could have been like an end beat to get out of the sketch. We got distracted. I was like, Alex, go. You write the first draft. I'll do a second pass. Alex brings it back to me, and it was like the I think there was like a wedding in the middle of it, and I was like, I think we got distracted by the side game here, and
missed
so
the point, I think.
Yeah. So I was like, well, it's too late to like rewrite this and to do, but I was like, we'll cut this down in the middle, and then maybe it'll just be like a fun middle beat. But it was still too much, and so we watched it, and we were both like, we got distracted. We started having too much fun on the side, and then like forgot about the main joke.
Yeah, like we're not thinking about the show anymore. We're just having a good time and making each other laugh.
Which is what happens a lot. You'll be like, oh, this one joke is funny. I'm just going to see where this goes.
Yeah.
And then you've lost the sketch.
You should have ended it with something like where someone looks to camera and goes, but all kidding aside, folks, Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve. Folks, we like to laugh, but marriage is between a man and a woman. Yeah. Miley Cyrus coming up.
Let's get the Jews out of the banks. Yeah.
So how much writing do you guys do that never makes it on the air? Like, is it a lot? Or have you figured out when a bad idea is a bad idea pretty quickly?
I feel like now I can figure out. It's always a surprise, you know.
That's fun.
Yeah, like sometimes you think something's gonna go great, and then they have. That's the thing about it is it's in front of a live audience, so you don't really think about that.
So if you have had stuff that like you're like, yeah, this is it. This is the and not only is this good, this is the one that people are gonna be like, oh shit, you wrote that, and then it goes in front of dress rehearsal, and you're like, oh no.
I'm never like, oh, people are gonna be like, you wrote that. If anything, I'm like, please don't look. You know what I mean? But there's definitely ones where I'm like, oh, this is absolutely gonna crush, and just doesn't.
Have you had any bomb? Have you had any bomb in the table read?
Oh, yeah. Nothing but bombs at the table read.
Only bombs.
For the most part, like the first couple weeks, I was like, this is the worst thing I've ever, because there's 9 pages left.
Oh, and you know it, yeah.
You want to just be like, you want to just stand up and be like, skip it. You can just skip next one. You know what I mean? You see Lauren like checking how many pages it is, like right in front of you, and you're like, fuck.
And you realize it's like, oh no, if you didn't laugh at this joke the first time, it's just that joke over and over.
Yeah.
Do they ever bail on them and go, we're not going to read the rest?
No. And that's the thing. That's what's so painful. It's like every one of us wants to have like a skip button where we're like, just move on. It's fine. But
why
you
don't
can't. Because they only pick, of all the things that you write that night, they pick like 36, 38 for the table read. And then you read through all of those that day. And then they pick the show that day. So everything that you pick on that like Lorne and them pick on Wednesday goes to dress. And so you have to read through every sketch just to see, like, you know, we're going to do rewrites. Is there something here where we could do rewrites and make it work for the show?
Okay, sure.
But when it's a pass, like when something is like clearly a pass, is it quick? Like, is it quick and painless? Like, is it just like, no, moving on, next one? Or is it like, no, let's try to see...
No, sometimes there's something they'll be like, there's something for this, because it is like a variety show.
Sure.
So you think about like the stuff that has like a wild costume, or maybe there's like a dance number in the middle of it. And so the show as a whole like would benefit from having something like that, so it's not all one note.
Right.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So it depends, I think. I mean, I know nothing. By the way, I feel like a fucking moron because I like just got there. I don't really know the show as
Just
well
your
as
experiences, yeah.
Yeah, but that's sort of what I'm picking up on so far.
It seems terrifying.
Yeah,
was it
an intimidating thing when they were like, yeah, you got the you got the job?
I was so happy. I don't have to go on the road. I was like, oh my God, thank you. I'll stay up 72 hours in a row to not get on a fucking plane right now. Like, that's how it felt. Because I had all these road dates coming up and no idea what I wanted to talk about and no real interest in myself, and was like, I just want something to like stay home and do.
Right.
So I wasn't that intimidated. When I finally got there, I was like, oh no.
This is the gig.
How many pages is this? A sketch just seems like an impossible thing to write. Like I literally,
it's so funny because you do all that character stuff and you're still like, I have no idea.
I don't write it. I just make it up and it bombs and I keep moving. Like
It's kind of like, it's not hard to write. It's like once you get the hang of the thing, you know what's not going to work, and and you go, okay, what's the main joke here? And like, if it's the same joke over and over and over again, then you run into trouble.
And how many pages is it? 8 pages a sketch?
It doesn't have to be. It can go from like, I've seen sketches that are like 12 pages, and I'm like, that's long.
Yeah.
But it can be 5 to 7 pages, I think, is like, for me, I look at that and go like, that's perfect.
Yeah.
Like, you're in and out.
4 or 5 minutes, yeah.
But for the show, I think they're usually like around 10 pages.
Oh my! I would survive so poorly there.
You would?
I would literally just parasite onto somebody. I wouldn't mind taking a pass at this sketch, like going over somebody's work. I'm actually good at like looking and finding jokes in it or making corrections because it's a fresh. But just to create one, I've been awe anyone can do that. It's hard to do.
It's really hard. I'm like, I don't know. I like basically would go around to the writers that have been there for a long time, and I would walk into their office and be like, is there like a book I can read about this? Like, how do I figure out what I'm doing wrong? Because I know I'm doing everything wrong. I just don't know. Like, there's jokes in my sketches that work, but the whole thing overall sucks.
Have you had any character ideas that you thought were going to be good? Like, this will be the, like, you know, it's
Never.
Mike and he eats crackers and people are like, this stinks.
The new opera boy.
I've never had an idea for a character in my life.
Okay.
I've never, never.
In your entire life.
In my life.
Yeah.
My brain doesn't go to that. But the cast members do. They come up and they have ideas for characters, and then you build a sketch around that character. So they'll be like, here's the character, and you're like, where would that be funny? You know, like, where's the funny?
That seems scary, too, though, because I feel like I would try to write a sketch for this character, and I'd be like, here's my idea, and they'd go, yeah, you don't understand the character at all. That's not this character would never do any of that.
Well, they're in the room with you.
Oh, okay.
So you're
not
writing
going
it,
back to them
and you're like, it's this cool. This is like a fun thing it's so fucking dorky, but like you have your computer screen, and then they have a TV on the wall behind you.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll be typing with the other writers while the writers are looking at the TV screen. So they're seeing you type, and they'll be like, oh, and then write this, and then go back, and then so you feel like you're really making like a painting together or something. It's like a cool.
Oh, they'll see your screen on it, so it's easy. They don't have to stand over your shoulder and
they're
watch
not
you
over
type.
your shoulder. They're sitting on the couch
Wait.
next to you, and they're looking at the TV screen while you're typing.
They're
And
going,
then
Jim, is that a porn tab?
Oh yeah, That looks like a collie. I forget it. Like writing for not that writing for Colin or Michael Che, they're doing the weekend updates easy, but it seems like more traditional joke writing that I would
it
like
is.
more.
It's more traditional joke writing. So you have like
And topical.
yeah.
So you have a place to start. It's not just like
you have a setup.
an
built in.
imagination thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of cool. I was like getting my stand up was getting fucking depressing. So like being in a place like that where everything's so silly has been good for me.
Yeah.
You know.
Were you like I mean, everybody's a fan, I think, to some extent, but was it like, okay, this is like iconic. This is a big deal.
It was cool.
Yeah.
It was like walking through the hall was like just I didn't really realize until I got there. I was like, there's just like heroes on the wall just being like, you don't deserve to be here. You know what I mean? But it was cool.
Who do you think you are?
Yeah. It was very, it was like that first week. I was just like, what the fuck is
What is
Yeah.
your first day like? Like when you walk into this place, you're like, I am now an employee. Like I'm not just taking a tour.
I'm supposed to be here.
I
Yeah.
belong here. I have a little ID badge. Like, what do you do the first day you start?
You just keep like looking down at your badge and being like, oh, cool. And then looking around your office and being like, so what do I do? And they're like, figure it out. And you're like, just start looking at your badge again. There's nothing you
Trying
don't
to
know.
repeat the cycle.
Yeah, you're like, and everybody's very nice. Like they come up and they go like, I remember my first week, everyone kept coming in and being like, are you okay? And I was like, yeah, I'm good. People keep asking me that. Should I not be okay? And then I realized they were asking that because that's the only time that they're gonna. You know,
Yeah.
like they're going to be like, are you okay the first week? And then after that, it's like, figure it out.
Yeah.
Nobody has time to like take care of you.
Right.
A month in, you're like, guys, I don't know if you were going to check, but I'm definitely not okay. I don't know if anybody can help now.
I mean, they would, but like, it's very much like New York rush hour energy, where it's like, if there's a problem, you need to go to somebody yourself. Nobody's gonna like stop and be like, you seem like you're you're going through something, you know? That's for the benefit of the show, because you're making the show in a week.
Right.
Like, you write the show in one night.
Well, yeah, plus, like, you don't have necessarily time to be, because you came in halfway through the season, right?
I came
Or did
in-
you start at the beginning of the season?
No, I came in halfway through the season. I was like,
So it's like the wheels are already moving.
Yeah.
It's like, come on, you got to come in and start writing episodes with us.
Yeah.
Immediately.
Yeah.
Which is amazing, because they're going to start a new season, and you're going to be like a tenured. You're not going to be the new kid anymore.
I'm definitely not going to be tenured, but
Yeah, I mean, to an like a new
yeah.
person would come in and go like, oh, you're somebody who's been
right.
here.
It feels like, okay, at least I got my sea legs a little bit.
Right, and you're going to be like, no, I'm also a new person.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
have no idea.
Yeah. And then producing your shit is different too. Like you get this bird's eye view of like how is this going to get made, but how is it going to look?
Right.
Where are people going to stand? Because the writers produce their shit. Like
I
if
didn't
your
know that.
sketch gets picked, you sit with the director and you go, can we get like a 2-shot here? And can we get like when she does this punchline, can we like spike the camera to like get a closer shot. So you know which shots are funnier for what line. Like you start to learn that shit, and that's a whole other level of like understanding that you don't have when you go in there.
Right.
And when you're like, I'm like, thank God I got this job before I got my own show.
That's why SNL writers and people who work there really go on to be able to creative and do a lot of shit, because I guess you get such training in every area that you wouldn't think of walking in.
Dude,
And
it's
doing
like
so
getting
much.
paid to go to Harvard. That's
Yeah.
what it feels like.
Right. And it's got to be terrible, though, when you're watching. Like, I hate watching myself so much, and watching anything you do bomb has got. I'm sure, again, it's a part of it. It's a sketch show. It's not going to not happen.
Yeah.
Have you had anything bomb in front of an audience?
I've had like pre-tapes where I was like, it didn't do what I wanted it to do.
Is
you
it
know?
humiliating, or is everybody so used to it no one cares? Like, it's like I would walk around.
No, it's
filled with
humiliating
shame.
every time. It's humiliating every fucking time.
It is.
It's so
Never
bad.
gets better.
I'll like leave to go. Like I will not sit in the writer's room while my sketch is on. Like I'll go down to the floor to watch it. I'm not going to sit in the room with the writers and be like, here we go, let's see how it does. And then it just starts to bomb and everybody gets quiet and they go like, well, I liked it, you know? Like it's just the worst.
That happens, though, right?
Yeah, all the time.
By the
Of
way, we
course.
should go to Tom in New Hampshire because I've been beating myself up ever since I said it, and I think this is the only thing that'll make it better.
Okay, I don't know if I've caught it, but
I 100% caught it as soon as I said it. What's up, Tom?
What happened? What happened?
Yes, it's Opera Man, not
I know.
Opera Boy, Sam.
Yep, I said.
I didn't know
I said
that.
Opera Boy, and as soon as I said it, I was like, "You fucking idiot!"
yeah.
Thank God Tom was here to point it out.
I didn't know the character.
Opera Man,
It's
played by
Opera
Adam
Man,
Sandler,
not Opera Boy.
who
Opera
also
Boy.
was the Water Boy, and clearly,
Yeah, I understand you made the mistake.
I made a mistake.
Opera Man.
I made a mistake.
Yeah.
I feel like we can get past it
Yeah.
now,
Yeah.
because clearly it was bothering everybody, not just me.
Yeah.
So does the head writers? Michael's the head writer, right?
He's one of the head writers.
One
yeah.
of them. So those guys as head writers, do they like? Will people walk in with sketches and go, "Can you help with this?" Or like, do they have final say? What does being a head writer there mean, other than just
I
doing?
have no idea. I think
Okay.
it's like a totally different thing. I mean, it's not, but it seems like it is because they're writing. They're the most experienced there, so there's that. So they're writing the majority of the show is like head writers. You know, like they're doing a lot more, and you can work on something with a head writer to get their guidance and stuff. But I truly don't know what it is.
But they go over sketches and everything. It's not just their own.
They're in every meeting. You know what I mean? They're like, it's more than just the
Yeah.
writing. It's like they're in the meetings. They're talking about the show and what it should look like, and what, you know, they're in the meetings with Lorne.
Right.
Whereas like after the table read, whereas like we just go back to our like offices and wait there like choir boys.
Right. Like Tina Fey did that, I know, for a while. She was a head writer. I
Yeah.
mean, there's always really funny people.
And I guess
that
a lot
get
of
that
time the
gig.
Weekend Update person ends up being the head writer. Is that? Or
I
is
don't
that
know.
just
I
a
honestly don't know.
coincidence? I don't
It
know.
makes sense though, because but again, they're just doing this joke. Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know. I mean, I guess, was Norm ever a head writer there?
Don't know.
I don't know.
Or Colin. I'm not sure if Colin ever was. I don't think Colin was.
Yeah, I guess I don't know. Norm and Colin also seem like they write in their own voice a lot, right?
Yeah.
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 I'm just fascinated by SNL though. It's just
Me
such
too.
a scary. I've never been to a taping. I might want to go to a taping someday. Like
They're fun.
You guys should come.
I've never done Saturday night. You know, come on, I'm busy, brother. You know. I have plenty of time.
Come sometime. Yeah.
I have plenty of time.
do?
Oh yeah.
Dress rehearsal, live show, whatever works.
Yeah. Back in 2007, I had no time. Now, plenty of time.
I'm free.
Yeah,
on
can I go
Saturday.
twice in a row? Yeah, but I've never seen it live, and I think I would like to once just go to a taping and watch it happen. It terrifies me. The sketches are so scary because you're committed when you're in it. If
Yeah.
you're buying it as a stand-up, you know, if you're fucking eating shit, you can maneuver and address it and break the fourth wall.
Yeah, you can say something.
Yeah.
But it's also like it's not you that's up there, so you know, like it's your fault. Like if they're bombing, it's your fault. Like, and they're stuck there, so you feel bad on a level where you're like, this isn't even me taking the beating.
No, but I would feel good. It depends on who it was. Like if I was writing for SNL and Bob Kelly was a cast member, all I would do is try to set him up to fail.
Oh,
Yeah,
Bob,
yeah.
trust me, this is gonna work.
Dude, no one's gonna laugh if I do that. Bob, trust me, it's good stuff.
Well, when it's your friends bombing, it's like it's great.
It's great.
But when it's somebody you just met and it's like you just started working with them, you're like, oh fuck.
Or the
They're gonna
guest
hate
host.
me.
Who's your
Yeah.
first guest host?
First guest host, Mulaney was
Oh,
the
all
first
right.
one when I was there. Yeah.
You can go to rosebudbaker.com for tickets and dates and all that stuff.